everybody. Welcome back to another episode of BEqualise podcast. I am extremely happy today to be here with Dr. Valentina Panfilio. She is our mindfulness expert in BEqualise team. Welcome, Valentina.
Welcome, everybody.
Thank you for being here with us today. So as you know, guys, every week we try to propose interesting topic related to dizziness and vestibular disorders from different angles. We talked about nutrition, rehabilitation, and today we talk about one of the other massive pillars in BEqualise, which is mindfulness, and how to be aware of your mind and body when you are dealing with dizziness and chronic dizziness especially. So today we have Valentina on board, and I would like to just spend a few words about Dr. Valentina. I've met her in Dubai. Dr. Valentina, she's a wonderful dentist, and I'm extremely happy that she joined our team because apart from being a surgeon and a dentist, she dedicated her life to mindfulness and meditation. And she not only used it for her own practice as a doctor, but also with her own patients. And now that she has joined our team, she contributed greatly to develop the new programs that guide you in the app. So if you download BEqualise app, you can find the programs that we have developed and that we're still developing with her, where the patients can be guided every day in understanding how to apply mindfulness to your life. Valentina, welcome. Please introduce yourself better than I did and tell us anything about you so that everybody gets to know you.
But you did perfectly because there is nothing more to say that, I am a dentist and especially I am a meditator. Let's say that I practice meditation every day, twice per day, because meditation changed my life, but not only my life, the life of my patients. And so I'm really, really happy to be in BEqualise team because I know that really mindfulness can change your life as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. And it is particularly true for our patients, as you know, vestibular disorders. Just for everybody following why we put mindfulness, a lot of the time people are asking us, why do you focus so much on the mental aspect of vestibular disorders? This is just very briefly, I like to say the reason why so pretty much every patient that has dizziness is prone to develop secondary mood disorders such as depression or anxiety is because the vestibular system, let's say, integration in the brain is not localized only in one spot. As you know, for example, in the visual cortex, when we think about vision, you have it localized in the visual cortex, but the vestibular cortex is spread. There is no just vestibular cortex itself. There are different areas. And one of the areas of the brain where the vestibular inputs get integrated is also very close to the limbic system, which we know is the system about emotion. So they communicate. So if you feel unstable, it's very likely that, of course, you are prone to also develop some sorts of, let's say, secondary mood disorders or some sorts of other emotional feelings. This is the underlying physiological reason. But today, talking more in practice with Valentina, let's dive in as very basics for everybody, for all the people that don't know about mindfulness. So the first question I have for Valentina that perhaps will help all the patients is, what is mindfulness? And maybe if you want to also add, how did you came across this journey? Because I think it would be very interesting also to people to know how you discovered mindfulness.
So first of all, why mindfulness has recently gained popularity, and many people have heard about the term mindfulness. Many still may not have clear what mindfulness requires, because mindfulness, it's not just a meditation, it's a therapeutic intervention that trains attention and awareness. And it's a practice of being conscious of the present moment and how learning to respond to negative emotions with acceptance and kindness. And this is so important during chronic disease. I came across
Okay.
mindfulness, uh, because I really suffered. I suffered as well. As a dentist, I was super, super stressed. And also the colleagues around me were in burnout. And so I started to practice by myself. But then I felt the urge to be able to communicate to other people and to train my colleagues, my assistants, to be mindful during work, but not only work, during their life. And our team changed so greatly that then I really felt that it's so important that also patients know about themselves, about their emotions, not only in the dental chair, but also in their life.
Perfect. So you are a proof living experience of the impact of mindfulness, which is really nice. So, dizziness, unfortunately, a lot of the time can become chronic and become a chronic illnesses. How can mindfulness help chronic illnesses in general?
Dealing with the chronic illness can really mess in your head. For people living with chronic disease, it's very important to consider how to take care of both the body and the mind on a daily basis. And these diseases can cause significant stress, as well as feeling of frustration and the sense of being no power. And these feelings may be compounded by a sense of isolation and feeling of being alone. Our thoughts can totally spiral out of control, making everything feel even worse. We start stressing about the future and dwelling on the past and basically having a mental shutdown with ourselves. Very
We've
exhausting.
seen this before. Yeah, very, very exhausting indeed.
And so it can seriously mess with our mental and physical health, amplifying the burden of chronic illness and even make physical symptoms worse. And very few of us know how to work with our minds in a way that supports and improves our lives, especially when dealing with the chronic illness.
I see. So we can say that mindfulness for chronic illness, for patients suffering from chronic illnesses, can be kind of a tool to, despite all the challenges, regain control
Yeah,
in this moment,
exactly.
right?
Mindfulness is a practice for lessening that amplifying effect. Instead of letting your mind run wild, mindfulness shows you how to live as happily as possible despite the chronic illness. And even when things are tough. And get this, it's not some, hippie style stuff. No, thousand of scientific studies actually back it up. Mindfulness doesn't just help you feel better mentally. It can also boost your body's ability to heal and even slow down the progression of your illness over time. So, next time you are feeling overwhelmed by your illness, give mindfulness a try. Help you to turn things
Yeah.
around.
I understand 100%. They teach us a lot about mindfulness when we are dealing with many conditions. And one of the challenges that I can see is a lot of the time, the patients, first of all, when you explain to them, okay, you should do mindfulness, look more at your thoughts and the way you react, they always say, especially with dizziness, because you can't really quantify dizziness. It's not like having a broken bone. I'm not mad. It's not in my head. I'm really dizzy. So this is the one first obstacles that we always want them to be to recognize how the patient is feeling, to give them importance. We do acknowledge your feelings, but you need to gain, despite all of these, right, kind of a control. A lot of the times nowadays we hear about the power of the mind over matter. And so how can the mind, if it can, or if it can help in the healing of a disease, in your opinion?
One of the most important things is to understand when you are dealing with a chronic illness is the mind-body relationship and the stress response. Picture this. Where you're out for example, for a leisure stroll, then suddenly a huge dog pops up of nowhere and ready to attack. Your stress response immediately activates the panic mode, and your body hits the turbo button. And in the brain terms is the amygdala. The moment you perceive the threat, your brain goes, oh, danger, danger alert, and floods your system with adrenaline and cortisol. This is for short-term activation, either fight, flee, or freeze. The stress response increases your heart rate, the blood pressure, the blood diverts away from the guts and the skin and the muscles. And your breath get faster to get more oxygen. This is not about feeling anxious. It's about getting your body pumped up and ready to take action. And this is in the name of survival. Now, in a life or death situation like facing a ferocious dog, this stress response is a lifesaver. It's what gives you that extra boost of strength and speed to either fight back, make a run for it, or freeze and hope for the best. But most of the time, we are not actually facing down a beast. No, more often, our stress response gets triggered by stuff going in our head. Like, for example, worrying about the future, dwelling on the past, grievance. And here's the really kicker. Our body don't know the difference between a real threat and one made up one. The body will respond to what the mind tells it to do. And if the mind is in a dream world, catastrophizing, worrying, ruminating, then the body translates that into the fight or flight response. So, if our mind is off freaking out over disaster, guess what? Our body is gonna respond as if there is a rabid dog on the loose. And that's not a turbocharge for energy. This is called anxiety. So next time your mind starts spiraling into panic mode, maybe take a step back, remind yourself, it's just your brain playing tricks on you. No angry dogs inside.
This is very, very nice and nicely put. And I guess we all experience that, and definitely, So stress is good because we need stress to survive, but a minimum amount of stress, not the stress to respond to normal environments. But yeah, it's basically, if we can translate it in a very simple terms, mindfulness can be something that you take to be able to control better when your thoughts are running wild. It's just a tool to
Yeah. Yes, just to perceive first of all in your body that something is wrong, that something is happening, and then put the attention in what it is. It's something in the body, okay, and then connected. There is always a thought. Connected with the thought, there is an emotion, and I can choose in that moment how to react, how to take care of that emotion.
Nice. So what is the impact, in your opinion, of these mental habits, this mindfulness practice on the body? How can they influence the body?
Let's picture like this. It's like getting in your car and hammering it the whole time. If you drive your car like that, your mechanic will probably tell you, look, you are going to go through fuel. And your repair bills will go up as parts wear out faster. Same goes for your body. Same things. If your mind's in overdrive, stressing about every little things, it's pretty much like that with the body. And unaware mind does the same thing to the body. It really does matter which thought we choose to give our attention to and how we learn to work with our emotions. Sure, feeling anxious during illness is understandable, yet allowing those anxiety to dominate and dwelling incessantly on negatives only intensifies the strain. Chronic stress disrupts bodily functions, leading to high blood pressure, blood glucose, and blood lipids, which puts us more at risk for cardiovascular problems like heart attacks and strokes, and an impaired immune system. The immune system compromise can protect us from things like infections, like cancer. So sometimes the immune system goes into overdrive and start attacks the body, creating condition like in autoimmune disease or inflammatory disease, for example. And it doesn't stop there. Chronic stress make the brain age faster and leave us more susceptible to age-related illnesses like dementia, for example. So how we manage
it's really
our
amazing to get to hear once again a reminder for everybody, because this is really applicable for everybody. And of course, even more so if you're dealing with unfortunately, chronic illnesses or some serious illnesses that you encounter in your life that are difficult to manage, or that you might not even be sure how to manage, unfortunately, sometimes. I think what you just described, it's for everybody kind of a waking up call to be conscious. This is the consciousness. I believe it's extremely important. So always lovely to hear it again.
So learning to switch off unnecessary worries, rumination, regret, resistance by coming back to the present moment reduces stress and brings our system back into balance. So when we start to meditate, it's like noticing that our engine's been reviving much faster than it needs to and allowing it to find its ideal states again. This is so important.
Absolutely.
Also, the mindfulness with cultivate positive emotions like compassion about ourselves, about other people, and the feeling of gratitude even during chronic disease.
I love it. I really do, Valentina. This is so important for everybody. I have a question. So if I'm a patient and I come across the platform of BEqualise, I download the app and I get the mindfulness program, but I still want to, for example, use or understand different meditation techniques, because when we talked, and also now that we are digging into what to do in the next phase of BEqualise, because again, for everybody, we are just in a very, very primitive validation state. So the best has yet to come. And if I'm a patient that is interested to know more, can I book a consultation with you How does it work? Where can I mean, we are now launching also a new website where they can just book you online. They have your preferences, but are you available, right, for that?
Yeah, sure. Because to have a contact with the patient is the best thing. We can talk and explain and then be in touch and create a personal plan for mindfulness.
Okay, fantastic. So guys, if you're interested to know more about Valentina, go on our website. You will have all the details, her email. You can just get in touch with her directly. Do you want to add anything else? Maybe I did interrupt you before. I'm not sure. No?
I
Okay.
think we cover all the topics.
Okay, that's wonderful. So if we could just sum it up for everybody that is watching, the power of mindfulness. I believe that if you can just sum it up in few words, the key words that we need to remember, it's to be conscious, to be in the present moment, and to control the wild mind, right?
Yeah, and the wild emotions too.
And the wild emotions. Definitely, definitely. Okay, Valentina, thank you so much for this very
Thank
insightful.
you.
I really, really think that you gave some wonderful perspective, and I hope that more people will reach directly out to you and they will get benefits from the app and the program that we're building together. So I really encourage everybody to stay tuned, to follow us on social media, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We are on all the social media, and then hopefully the community will grow, and perhaps we will have Valentina doing more and more live, where maybe she can even do more meditation live sessions. Yeah, and she's also a yoga teacher, so not just a dentist. We might incorporate also some yoga techniques in the future. Let's see. And yeah, we will communicate with you. Thank you so much, Valentina.
Thank you.
Hopefully I'll see you soon. I'm sure this is going to benefit a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you.